YouTube! My name is Sarah and welcome to The Bookish Knitter. Today I am coming to you with my November TBR. Say it with me, everybody. It's TBR time. Yay! I'm going to apologize, not really apologize for my appearance. I am still less than a month post-op from my transplant surgery, so I think I'm allowed a little leeway at this point. Also, I may stumble over my words a bit as I'm doing this because I'm still trying to get back into talking and reading things, not reading things, but I think, did I mention in my one of my videos that during surgery, after surgery, they actually damaged my tongue, taking the breathing tube out. Lovely. And as such, I actually still don't have taste buds. Like, it's been very unpleasant for me for the past, like, almost month now. They said they will return. It's just going to take extra time because I'm on anti-rejection meds, which, of course, lower your immune system, which makes it hard to fight, like, to heal from certain things. So if I stumble, that's the reason why, is because it's actually, like, there's a sore there. So I do apologize if I sound like, or whatever, more different than normal, I guess. But yeah, it's TBR time, so let's talk about that. I'm super, super stoked, guys. I put this list together while I was in hospital. I've played around with it a bit, and I had a lot of fun with this because my whole plan is that I want to work my way through series, like, in order. I know, Storm, calm down. I actually want to work my way through some series in order, and I want to go through some category romance series. I want to go through some cozy mystery series, and I want to go through some romance series. So I have all of those here, and as I was putting the list together, I wanted to make sure that the second book in all of those different series are going to be holiday themed, because of course next month is December, and in December I do my best to read only holiday themed books. So I really, really took the time with this. There are a number of holiday books on this list already. And, that's fine because I can start reading the Christmas stuff in November because there's only so much time to read all the Christmas books. Although I do tend to read them all year round and that really doesn't bother me as much. So, yeah, so there's a bunch of holiday stuff on here. So as I'm going through these lists, when I talk about going through series, like, for example, I'm going to read book 1 in November, book 2 in December, book 3 in January, yada, 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 until I finish the series. And then I'll pick another series at random to start. And that, like I said, is for category romance, cozy mysteries, and regular romance, non-category romance, I should say. So guys, there are 28 books on this list. Now, don't get too excited. And don't forget, I have optimal free time on my hands right now. I'm just healing basically from everything. And 6 of these books are short novellas. Like, one of them comes in at 40 pages. So it's not like this is a huge to-do. I can tell you, actually, if you're interested, sorry, I've got my laptop open in front of me. The grand total page count for all 28 books is 6,811 pages. And as of today's date, the 2nd of November, if I read 231 pages a day, I can finish the list. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. So let's jump into the category romance books first. I have missed these. I know I did a video back when I was in hospital talking about the fact that I needed to step away from them, that they weren't really doing anything for me. I just think that I was in, like, kind of a weird place. I was in the hospital. It was a very weird place. But just mentally and my reading state, I have barely read anything, to be completely honest, you guys. I was almost 4 months in hospital, and I barely read. Like, I basically just vegged and watched a lot of TV, and then after surgery, of course, I couldn't do much of anything. But now I have that want to read has returned exponentially, and I am so, so excited about it. So the category romance series, I've missed these so much. So basically, I've picked 5 series to start, and we'll see how that goes. So the first one is a Desire series, and this is Take Me Cowboy by Maisey Yates. It's the first book in the Cooper Ridge Desire series by her. And this is going to be sweet, or it's going to be spicy and fun, and I can't wait to get to it. Yeah, it's Maisey Yates. It's Maisey freaking Yates. What can I say? She's awesome. The next one is an intrigue series, and this is Crime Scene at Cardwell Ranch by B.J. Daniels. This is the first book in the Montana Mystique series. Looking forward to this one. Then we have a heartwarming series. The heartwarming line is a sweet romance line. So there's no adult content. There is no, it's basically a sweet romance. And we have A Family for Jason by Virginia McCullough, I think is how you say her name. And it is the first book in the Back to Bluestone River series. This might only be like a 3-book series, so that's pretty cool. And then we have a medical romance series of all things. And it's The Nurse's Holiday Swap by Anne McIntosh. And this is the first book in the Boston Christmas Miracle series. So every single book in this series is a holiday themed. So into January, I might be reading, because I think there's either 3 or 4 books in this series. So I'm very excited to get to all of them. And then last but not least, we have a special edition series, and that is A Match Made in Montana by Joanna Sims. This is the first book in the Brands of Montana series, and this is going to be a long-running series. I think it comes in around 20 books. So I'll be reading this for over a year probably. But that's okay. At 1 book a month, that's fine by me. Then we have some category romance standalones, because a lot of standalones are also published along with their series. And these ones all just sounded really good. One of them is a reread for me, but that's okay. And I'm excited to get to all of them. So the first one is another heartwarming book. And we have The Weather Girl by Amy Vastine. Now, I was looking up some stuff online, and I ran across this book, and I fell in love with the cover. And I thought, I have to read this book. It just looks so utterly delightful. So I'm really looking forward to getting to it. Then we have a historical series. A historical book, The Scandalous Widow by Elizabeth Rolls. This one I'm actually currently reading. It's about a widow, and she gets a letter from her brother's solicitor, and she burns it without reading it because there's some bad history, some bad blood, if you will, between her and her family. They pretty much disowned her for certain reasons. I won't get into what they are. You need to read the book. And then the solicitor shows up at her door a few weeks later, and with these 2 little girls in tow, who are her brother's daughters, so her nieces. And her brother has died under circumstance, and no one in the family will take the girls, so she takes them in. And there's a dog named Puck, as you can see from the cover, and I'm really enjoying this one so far. The next one is the reread, and this is a romance novel, a Harlequin romance novel, and this is Road Trip with the Best Man by Sophie Pembroke. I love this book so much. I read it years ago. It was a 5-star. I'm looking forward to rereading it again and hopefully giving it another 5 stars. This is about a jilted bride who travels cross-country to find out why the groom did not show up, and the best man is kind of with her, like trying to convince her not to do this. And then, of course, romance ensues. I loved it. I love the road trip aspect of this. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. And then next up, we have another intrigue, and this is The Hunting Season by Janice K. Johnson. I basically picked this one because you can't go wrong with a Janice K. Johnson book. Her stuff is always fantastic, always edge of your seat. Really looking forward to this one. And then last but not least, we have The Christmas Bargain, which is a love-inspired book. And this is by Lisa Carter. And this is, I think, a relationship of convenience story, but I'm not absolutely certain. I'll let you guys know when I get to it. All the books, by the way, you guys, will be listed in the description box below if you want to check any of them out for yourself, because I don't have all the information on all of them. We'd be here forever if I was talking about what each of these books were about. So now into the Cozy Mystery series. So 2 of these series are actually fully Christmas series. Like every book is a Christmas, if not takes place at Christmas, is at least Christmas themed. And the second book is a Christmas book. So the first one we have here is Rest Ye Murdered Gentlemen by Vicki Delaney. This is the first book in the year-round Christmas mystery series. Now, I thought I had read this one, but when I looked at it, maybe I didn't. Or if I did, I read it years ago and I don't remember it. So I'm looking forward to giving it a reread if I did read it before, or a read for the first time if I didn't. So yay on that one. The second book is Christmas Corpse by Mona Marple. This is the first book in a Christmas cozy mystery series, and this is a Kindle Unlimited series. It comes in around 140 pages, so this should be a quick and easy read. I'm looking forward to it. It looks super, super adorable. And last but not least, we have 6 Sweets Under by the great Sarah Fox. This is the first book in the True Confections mystery series, so very much looking forward to getting to this one. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. I know some people hate it when people take sips or whatever on camera, but give me a pass right now, okay? Um, next up are 3 romance series. So 2 of these actually only have 2 books. So I will finish 2 series by the end of the year. Pretty exciting, eh? So the first one I am reading, I'm actually currently reading this one, and it's Spring at Saddle Run by Delores Fossen. This is the first book in the Last Ride Texas series. So this one is about 2 people named Millie and Joe, and they are both widows. And their spouses died together in a car accident while probably having an affair with each other. And circumstance throws these 2 people together. He's got a 13-year-old daughter, and it's a cowboy romance. And it's Delores Fossen. I mean, so far I'm absolutely loving it. I'm almost 20% of the way through it. The next one is Christmas at the Shelter Inn by RaeAnne Thayne. This is the first book in the Shelter Spring series. There's only 2 books so far. I don't know if there's going to be more. But right now I'm going with 2 books in the series, so I could finish it, like I said, by the end of the year. And I think this is more of a women's fiction than romance, but I'm going to count it under romance. And last but not least is Holiday Romance by Catherine Walsh. This is the first book in the Christmas rom-com series, and this is a KU novel. And, excuse me, there are only 2 books to my understanding in this series as well. And I believe they're standalone from each other, but they're listed as Catherine Walsh's rom-coms, Christmas rom-coms. So I'm counting it as a series. And yeah, I think the second book is called Snowed In or something like that. But anyway, I am really looking forward to it. So the next little group of books I have here are shorty books. So basically, I was going through some blog posts online about a week or so ago. And there was a blog about, these new Kindle Unlimited romances to read this Christmas. And they've basically, a group of authors, I think 5 different authors, have put out Christmas novellas on KU that are going to be available, I think, later in November. But then I remember that they did the same thing earlier this year. They put out 6 books by 6 different authors, nothing to do with each other except for the fact that they're the not so, what is it called? The Not So Meet Cute or Not So Impossible Meet Cute series. And each of them is like, this is like, how did this ever happen? This is the craziest meet cute ever. And a couple of these books are like 40 pages. So I'll fly through these relatively quickly. So that's what I mean when I say 28 books on my TBR. Some of them are pretty short. So the 6 books, so I want to read these 6 books in November. Then I'm going to read those other 5 books in December for Christmas. So that's kind of my game plan here. And that's why I picked these ones. None of them are holiday themed. So we have The Exception to the Rule by Christina Lauren, which I've actually already read. And I loved it. So I'm looking forward to giving it a reread. It was delightful. And then we have Worst Wingman Ever by Abby Jimenez. I hope I'm saying her name right. Rosie and the Dreamboat by Sally Thorn. Drop, Cover, and Hold On by Yasmin Gilroy. With Any Luck by Ashley Poston, I think. That's one of the authors I was unfamiliar with. And then Royal Valentine by Sarah Wilson. So I'm looking forward to getting to that as well. And then last but not least, we have 6 extra books. Basically books that I want to read that necessarily don't fit into any other category or list that I have. So the first one is Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey. This is a Christmas book, and I've been wanting to read it since it came out, and I haven't gotten to it yet, so I thought, let's get to it in the month of November. Then we have another Christmas book, which is 4 Weddings and a Christmas by Philippa Ashley. I have read Philippa Ashley before. She does chick lit novels, and I really, really like her stuff. They're great books. They're on the bigger side. Like this one comes in at almost 400 pages. But they're absolutely delightful, and I really, really like them. And then we have a book that I am so excited about, and I have to tell you the story about how I got my hands on this book. So when I was in hospital, I made friends with a guy on the floor who is also in for a transplant. His name is Ricky. If you guys could keep him in your thoughts, because he is still waiting for his transplant, and he's been in since June, and he's my friend, and I'm worrying about him. So if you guys could keep him in your thoughts, just spare a little prayer that he gets his transplant soon so he can get home in time for Christmas, that would be wonderful. So that was a complete side note. But Rick and I became really good. Like, we are friends. We text still and all that stuff. So anyway, we used to go through the tunnels because there's 4 hospitals where Toronto General is. So we were in Toronto General, and beside us was Sick Kids, and then across the street was Mount Sinai and Princess Margaret. And all four of those hospitals are interconnected with tunnels that run underneath all the streets, right? So him and I used to just take off. Like, we'd tell the nurse, we'll be back in a couple hours. And we would go and we would walk to Mount Sinai because Mount Sinai had an Indigo bookstore. Oh, beat still my heart. And we would go book shopping. So a month or so ago, because this book came out, I think, in September, I asked the proprietor, who was the most delightful man, who ran this. He has the best mustache, like that really thin. I loved him. He was delightful. And I would go in and ask, did you get the new Richard Osman in? Nope, didn't get it in. And I was like, okay. So I'd ask, like, we'd go a couple times a week, and every time I'm like, is it in yet? And they had been released, but his store just hadn't gotten the stock yet. So finally, on October 7th, the day of my transplant, Rick and I were in the Indigo, and I said to the gentleman again, I said, is it in yet? And he goes, no, I'm sorry. And I turned to Rick and I laughed and I said, I'm going to get my transplant before I'm going to get the book. So we all kind of had a laugh about it. And then literally the phone rang to get us back upstairs because they were telling me that I had the heart. So it was really, really interesting the way it all happened. But anyway, a couple days after that, I was still in intensive care or in the CICU. And it was Rick's actual wedding anniversary. And him and his wife were over in the Indigo. And the proprietor said to Rick, oh, where's your friend? And he's like, who? He goes, oh, the one waiting on the transplant. And he goes, oh, she got her transplant. He goes, oh, that's fantastic. Let her know I have her book in. And I put it under the counter. Like, he put a copy under the counter for me. Super sweet gentleman. Even that, it goes to show you that even big bookstores will do things if you're a good customer, in my opinion anyway. And so anyway, Rick goes, okay, I'll let her know when she's feeling better. And then his wife, Rick's wife, like, elbows him, just buy her the damn book. So he bought me We Solve Murders by Richard Osman. And I am so excited to get to this book. I loved Thursday Murder Club so much. And yes, I am going to read this as a hardcover because that's how it was gifted to me. That's how I want to read it. I love this cover so much. It totally reminds me of some like 1960s noir, like cover or something like that. So I can't wait to get to it. So thank you again, Rick. I know you're probably not going to watch this, but thank you. And like I said, if you could just keep Rick in your thoughts. He needs this transplant. He needs to get out of that hospital because being in the hospital for that long, I can tell you, does things to your mind. And, you start to become used to it, which is not normal. You should not be used to living in a hospital. So please, if you don't mind, sorry, that's a complete side note, but I just want to throw it out there because you guys are all so awesome and help me get through this. And if you can just spare a thought, that would be wonderful. The next book is one that I also bought at the Indigo, and I know I have a copy of it, but I don't know where it is. So when I do have it, I will actually be reading it in the physical edition. And this is Queen of the Mist by Caroline Cauchy. This one, as soon as I saw the cover, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I do love a good historical fiction novel. Guys, this one is about the first woman who went over Niagara Falls in a barrel. That's all I needed to know about it. I'm like, I need to read this book. It looks so good. So hopefully I will get to this one in November as well. And last but not least, I couldn't not join in on Nora November. One of my booktube besties, Storm, is co-hosting it with Tina. This is, I think, the second year that they've done it, or third, I can't remember. And there's prompts, but I'm not really following the prompts. I decided just to read two old Nora Roberts category romances. So that's what I'm going to do. I pulled these at random off my shelf, and I'm very, very much looking forward to both of them. So the first one is a old special edition novel. I don't know how old it is. What's the date on this? Why are you not telling me the date? I think this is the first in the series, but I'm not absolutely certain. This is from 1997. So we have Waiting for Nick by the great Nora Roberts. Looking forward to this one. Like I said, I think this is first in the series. Revisit the, what's it say here? Revisit those spin-off. Yes, it's a spin-off to those Wild Ukrainian series that she did. So I'm looking forward to this one. It is first in the series. So yay on that one. The other book is not first in the series, and I meant to get to it, I think, last year for Nora November, and I did not. but I'm absolutely looking forward to it. I think this is the 6th in the McGregor series. But we have Rebellion by Nora Roberts. This is an old Harlequin historical. This is actually the 4th book in the Harlequin historical line. This is from 84? Did I read that right? 88. My eyesight is bad. 1988. So yeah, so we got an oldie but a goodie here. So look at that cover, you guys. Oh, and then the back. So I have 2 different Nora Roberts. I have a contemporary and a historical, which is pretty cool. So very excited about getting to both of those for Nora November. I will leave both Storm and Tina's channels linked below as well, so you can go and check them out. But anyway, guys, that's it. Sorry if I kind of sped through this, not really. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you've read any of these books, what you thought about them. What are you going to read in November? And until my next video, everybody, take care and happy reading. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye, guys.